Hello and welcome. Today we bring you back our own Dr. Gandhi and Dr. Singh to our program. Welcome, Dr. Gandhi, Dr. Singh.
Thank you for having us, Dr. Kashyap.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. We are discussing today as the rank list order is an important task. It's almost the last final task in your interview season, and then we both bring these two experts who have gone through with this process or going through with this process, and then we want to hear from them that what knowledge they have accumulated, how to create their rank list, or what strategy they have deployed. So let's hear from Dr. Singh. What would be his advice to our viewers who are watching it right now?
Thank you so much, Dr. Kashyap, for this question. I believe at the end of the interview trail, this is the major factor that comes into play when you are ranking every program and you are so close to your match. I believe my process, and I'm not sure it's right or wrong, but I believe my process is to go with where my interview went best about the whole vibe of the program, regardless of what they thought eventually, because it's a very subjective matter. And at the end of the day, it's an algorithm that places you in that program or it does not places you in that program. So after looking into many forums, whether it has to be USMLE forums or Student Doctor Network, and talking to my mentors as well, I think I will go ahead with my strategy of ranking according to where my interview was best. But I would like to know more about this scenario from Dr. Gandhi as well as from you.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Dr. Gandhi, what's your advice or thoughts?
I think ROL is creating an ROL is the task right now, but the process actually began when we started our interviews. And by saying that, I mean that the research that I did during that time about the programs and the interview experience that I had, and actually writing that down and creating my notes has is what's helping me right now. And the process that I'm using, which I'm not sure if that's the right process or not, I am actually placing the programs where I want to be at, and which would help me with my both with my personal and professional goals first, and going down. I have actually created a tier in my list. Like this, these are my tier A programs, tier B programs, and tier C programs based on what I'm looking for in a program, like the culture of the place, the faculty, leadership, reputation, fellowship matches, and that's how I'm going about it. So in tier A, I have three programs, tier B threes, and I keep moving them up and down. I want to mention that I had a running list as I started the interview process, and I have kept moving programs up and down based on the interview experience I have had. I'm not taking into account the performance, my performance during the interview, but I'm actually taking into account what I learned about the program, how the vibe that I got from the program into consideration. And that is more than how I did during that process. I think those are my 2 cents.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. What questions do you have for me?
I would ask, what process would you suggest, as you've been mentoring medical students and particularly IMGs? It's a very long time. What points do you think are right in both of our approach, and what do you think we could change and uh, hopefully get a good match?
Absolutely. No, thank you for asking that. So first of all, I think your approach is right. There is no right answer for any rank list order. It depends on many different factors. The number of interviews you got, and then your subjective experience, your objective criteria, and so on and so forth. Finding a perfect solution for each one that's the beauty of that it's so much personalized as well. But my few take on this or few advices for all you those who are watching is number one, you want to match. One thing is make sure you submit a rank list in any order, but make sure that submission of rank list on time or before time and getting a confirmation. That is the first and foremost advice I have. I have known some examples. Almost every other year, you get to hear one person that who he or she thought they submitted the rank list, but they never got a confirmation. They did not submit it, and they went unmatched. So you want to make sure that one part. Now, part number two. Second thing is, based on where you are you the first time applying? Most, I'm hoping that everybody who's applied for the first time, they should match, or sometime for different reasons people end up applying a second time as well. Based on those scenarios, number of interviews you got, you want to cut your losses. You want to make sure, as you're putting your rank list order, that you want to match somewhere a decent program and be part of the system as well. That's the second priority I would put into it. Assuming that you've already passed these two stages, you know that you'll be submitting it right, you know that you're not at risk, or at least you have enough interviews in that part. Now the combination of both of your approach, I think that would I would suggest that having an objective criteria as you're building in. And I absolutely agree with you, Dr. Gandhi and Dr. Singh, that as you are interviewing, you're making those notes. Those are the notes going to help you think about or revise your rank list, and actually forming a rank list. Now, one thing I would add there as well, that the rank, it's called matches. It's not your preferences. So what I would suggest our learners and my mentees as well is, because the programs will rank you, you are ranking the program. So you want to give yourself the best chances, matching chances, where you really did well in your program as well. You can put in your wish list, but I would like to say at least include two programs in your top four where you really excelled in the interview, where you actually got a good feedback during the interview or afterwards in a letter of intent communication or any other way as well. By that, what you're doing is you're creating a safety net, that even though those programs might not end up in your top five choices, but if you're putting them in top five and out of four positions, we're making sure that your chances of matchings are high, because programs rank you based on their number of spots available. And if you rank them really high, then your chances of getting matched in those programs are pretty high. I would not miss the opportunity. If programs have given you a really good vibe, you know that that is something you have a pretty good chance. Only limitation is that you may not want to match them, rank them as number one, number two. Then you still want to rank them in top four, so then at least you're thinking about it. I would say at least one program should be ranked in your top three. That way, which you really excel well. Because if for some reason you don't end up matching on your top choices or top two choices, then at least they would have ranked you high, and then you directly go in and get matched as well. To summarize, I cannot emphasize enough to make sure that don't wait till the last minute to submit your rank list. Please submit your rank list well before in time. Please do submit it, means you have to get the confirmation. Two, please go back and look at your notes during your interview, do your objective criteria assessment. And three, look at the qualitative assessment during interviews and where you really liked those programs. Almost all programs are same. Some has some better fellowship opportunities, research opportunities, and so on and so forth. But your first and primary goal is to match into a residency. If you end up matching into a program which doesn't have that research or fellowship match, that means you have to work a little bit extra during your 3 years. But not all things are lost. You can still overcome that opportunity. So I would say that this would be something which could be deployed. And as well as, we have one session in our video recording which we talk about what you do after you have submitted your rank list until you match or until you start your residency. This is not the time to procrastinate. This is not time to relax. This is time to build up your CV for two reasons. You're going to match. You are looking for fellowship now. Whatever you do during these 3 months period time, that should help you, keep those publication coming and apply for fellowship or green card in the later on. Or God forbid, if you're not matched, then this is the time you are building your CV, and those publications will come out before you start actually submitting your application again. But I think we have that's a separate topic. But idea is that you have worked hard. This is the last step. Take a breather, submit it, and enjoy the time off for not thinking anything. It's easier said than done. There'll be a lot of anxiety, and there'll be a different type of anxiety. We will talk about it. We will talk about how you can handle it. We'll talk about how you can utilize that anxiety, and channelize that energy into being productive to invest into your future as well. But for that, you have to watch our video, which we actually recorded on that. Any other questions, Dr. Singh, Dr. Gandhi, or you want to add more?
No, I believe this is very sound advice from you, Dr. Kashyap. And as you said, it's a mix and match of all the things. So probably the gut feeling also says a lot about where you want to end up. But as you said, you have to keep everything in mind before submitting that rank list, and definitely submit that rank list and not wait till the last moment. So this is very sound advice. I would really imply it in my ranking order.
Absolutely, Dr. Kashyap. Those were actually pearls of wisdom. And this is a very stressful and very um, tough times for us as it's coming to an end, but we're almost there. And thank you for your advice and support throughout.
Absolutely. Remember, once you're done, then you'll be like, what do you do with all this time? Now you have to worry about interviews and applying and making a rank list. You'll have so much time at your hand, but that's a good feeling to have as well. Well, let's end our program. Thank you so much for having be with us today, Dr. Gandhi and Dr. Singh.
Yeah, absolutely. Love our time here.
Yeah, definitely. It was a pleasure being here, and good interaction with you and Dr. Gandhi as well.
Our viewers, please like, subscribe to our channel, like this video, write in the comment section, and let us know what else we can bring it to you. And we'll definitely bring back Dr. Gandhi and Dr. Singh. It's just a matter of time. Thank you all.